All right, hide the women and children. This one's coming in hot. Yeah. Hey there, Ramon Osa with you here, osatennis360.com. And in this video, we're going to talk about how you can win more tennis matches without a big serve. So I'm going through shoulder impingement right now. I'm in the rehab process. My serve is coming in at a blistering 70 miles per hour when I really hit it. But I'm still winning tennis matches. So if you feel like you're not getting the miles per hour on your serve and it's directly causing you to lose more matches, I got really good news for you. It doesn't have to be that way. And I'm going to show you 4 ways that you can start winning more matches without hitting a bigger serve. So before we get started, if you're interested in content like this that's going to help you win more tennis matches strategically, by spending more of your time on the skills that really matter, go ahead and click the subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell notification so you get notified when I upload the next video. So the first thing we got to discuss is this misconception that a serve is one shot. What? What do you mean, Ramon? Well, you can think of the serve as one shot and then react to the next ball, or you can think of the serve as the first of 2 shots where it's a setup shot that you're going to then hurt your opponent on the second shot. So in doubles, that might look like a serve and a volley. In singles, that might look like a serve followed by a forehand, strategically placed in both instances, of course. So start to think of the serve as a 2-shot combination, and that'll instantly unlock the door to setting up your opponent, keeping him off balance while you continue to play proactive, dictating tennis and let your opponent react to what you're doing. All right, so the second thing we can talk about is accuracy. So a lot of people get this backwards. They start thinking about power and spin. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with developing power and spin. But if your aim is to win more tennis matches, how you hit the ball matters, but where you hit the ball matters a whole lot more. So what we want to focus on is first consistency, then direction, then precision or accuracy, then variety, and then finally power and spin. Power and spin, when it comes to winning, are the last things on the totem pole. That's why I'm still winning tennis matches against players at my level or slightly better without a big serve, because I'm really focusing in on accuracy and precision. So the way we can do that, obviously, is with targets. So you see I've got a target set up in the deuce court off to the side. So if I were hitting a slice serve out wide, I could start with a fairly big target like that, and then as I get better and better at hitting that target, we can obviously shrink the target, and that would make it a lot more difficult for your opponent to get, particularly if you can then move that target to different areas on the court and not allow him to get into any kind of a rhythm. And that's a big part of this, is a lot of serving is, if you think about Greg Maddux back in the 90s with the Braves, he didn't have overpowering stuff. He didn't have this 97-mile-an-hour fastball that is now common in the major leagues, but he could pinpoint exactly where he wanted his pitches to go, and he was always moving the ball up and down, in and out, changing spins, changing speeds, and he was one of the greatest pitchers of all time. So if you start to think about accuracy and variety, particularly as you relate it back to the first point, which is 2-shot combinations, now you've got a major advantage over your opponent. Okay, the third thing to consider is that you're not actually serving most of the time. In fact, most of the time when you're in a match, you're not even hitting a ball. About 80% of the time, you're in between points, in between games, in between sets. So we focus a lot, obviously, on the 20% of time that you're actually in a point, which is when you're striking the ball or moving to the next shot, and that's important. If you can win 80% of the time that you're not in a point, so that's your between the point rituals, that's your strategy, that's clearing your mind, that's thinking strategically about where your opponent is least likely to hit a good shot on you, etc. Well, your chances of winning the 20% go up exponentially, right? So what you want to be able to do is forget the last point, good or bad. You want to be able to collect yourself mentally and physically, and then you want to be able to visualize the way the next point is going to play out. And finally, the fourth thing that you can do to start winning more matches without a big serve is just return better, right? So we always think about hitting a bigger serve, but we don't give much attention to the return of serve. Very few people actually practice this. So I've got a video down below that you can use to master your return of serve from home. I'll link to that down below. But think about it logically. right? If we're going to win a tennis match, at some point we've got to break serve, right? And particularly if you're going up against a big server, if you have a great return of serve, not only are you shifting things into your favor, you're also starting to occupy space in your opponent's mind, and you're forcing him to hit better and better serves, smaller and smaller targets, and now you've got him in a position where he's going to start making mistakes, and you can capitalize on it. If you're a competitive tennis player and you really want to win more matches, I've got a free PDF down below called The 5 Biggest Mistakes that Competitive Amateur Tennis Players Make When Trying to Close Out 50-50 matches. So if you'd like to download that, there's a link down below in the description. You can do that for free. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.